Alright, here we go. Nintendo have announced a partner direct for tomorrow, which some people like Nate the Hate was suggesting would happen, or at the very least some kind of direct. Turned out to be a partner direct. Some people are upset, some people are happy, and I wouldn't be Corkben if I didn't say Rayman was going to be there, except this time I truly do think this is the best chance we've got, because we more or less have confirmation that he's coming to the Switch 2 at some point. It makes sense that we find out officially from Nintendo tomorrow. Anyway, on top of Rayman, I have a couple of other theories of games we might see at the Partner Direct, so that's what we're going to go over now. Let's get right into it. To kick things off, I want you to cast your mind back to the wonderful month of October 2024. Your least favourite YouTuber had just made a video about Astro Bot and it was doing really well, and he decided to ride that for the next 9 months. Anyway, sometime in October he made another couple of videos, more on the lines of like, holy shit, I was right. So yeah, basically in October it was leaked that Rayman was coming back, which is incredibly funny that just out of the blue, 2 weeks prior, I said, fuck it. He probably is coming back, isn't he? But interestingly, this came alongside another Rayman leak. Now, we don't know what Ubisoft are cooking, and we might find out at Gamescom this year. I've got my theories. It could be 3 weeks away till we hear something, but that's not for right now. Though for the record, I do think they're remaking Rayman 1 or 2. Anyway, my point is, during this time, leaker PH Brazil, or whatever he's called, I think PH is short for Pornhub. I think I can't find evidence that that's not why he's called that. I don't think that's his actual initials. So any day now, I'm not going to be able to see his leaks because I live in the UK. Thanks, Blair. But yeah, back in October-November time, PH Brazil leaked that 2025 was going to be a very Switch 1 focused year at some point, with a direct focusing on Switch 1 stuff. The idea is that Nintendo putting all of their focus on Switch 2 games like DK Bonanza, which turns out was definitely always meant for the Switch 2, and absolutely definitely could not have released on Switch 1 as well simultaneously. And Mario Kart World, which is really good, but £80 launch title? Anyway, while they're doing all of that and refusing to elaborate on Metroid Prime 4, they figured let's get some third-party developers to give us games for the Switch 1 so that those that can't afford £400 and then 80 quid a game don't have to upgrade to Switch 2 just yet, and they can stick with the Switch 1 and there'll still be stuff coming. It's a very, very valid business decision, and it means that 2025 is still bright for regular Switch owners. As part of this leak, PH Brazil suggested some of the games that he knew were in the works for this initiative, whatever you want to call it, and a few of them were Ubisoft games. Now, I don't want to go over it too much in great detail and explain why I believe these. Let's just say I believe this leak. You watch my old videos if you want to see why. There's bloody good reasons for it, but Driver 1 and 2, Splinter Cell Blacklist, and Rayman 3 were among the titles leaked to be being worked on for Switch 1 portage. Portage, is that? I don't care if that's a word. Now, this is the first partner showcase since that happened. There were a couple of directs back in March, I think, and then obviously all the Switch 2 stuff happened, but now the dust has settled on that. It makes sense for this partner direct to cover a lot of Switch 1 stuff. Obviously Switch 2 stuff too, and I think this partner direct is mainly going to be ports rather than new games. Red Dead Redemption 2 on Switch 2, that feels inevitable. Maybe a Resident Evil package, that feels inevitable. Like all the recent remakes, they'll work on the Switch 2, maybe. But yeah, I can see Rayman 3, Splinter Cell Blacklist, Driver 1 and 2 being part of a sizzle reel of ports from Ubisoft or ports from other companies coming to the Switch 1 throughout the year, even maybe shadow dropping them, although I don't think that's likely. But yeah, I feel like now is a good time to sort of say, right, Switch 2 is full steam ahead. Obviously, we don't actually know anything that's coming out on the fucking thing, or at least no release dates. Nintendo, come on. But we don't really know a lot about the Switch 1, so we need to get some news. We need to find out some stuff. Failing that, though, I'm sort of flippantly talking about Rayman 3. Basically, I have decided Rayman 3 Remastered exists if you are new to the channel, and basically I need this to be true, or I'm going to look like a fool on the internet. Now, I do a lot to make sure I already look like a fool on the internet, so that when that inevitably happens, when it inevitably doesn't happen and then I look like a fool, I can just play it off as that was my plan all along. That's what I'm doing here. That's the only reason I kept making videos. So I could look stupid consistently for 9 months. Anyway, if that happens or it doesn't happen, who cares? Because there's another far more likely, almost definite reason why Rayman is going to be in the partner showcase tomorrow. A couple of videos ago, which was about a month ago, I must admit I've taken a slight break from making videos for a multitude of reasons. One of them is work. One of them is moving house. Another one of them is going on holiday in the summer and therefore being off for a week. And, you know, being an adult in the UK means my mental health is through the fucking floor right now. But I do have a video today. I digress. A couple of videos ago I detailed why Rayman 2 is coming to Nintendo Switch in the form of a Nintendo 64 classic. Basically because they leaked it themselves. Some very clever people identified from some blurry shapes that the Rayman 2 cover, among a bunch of other games including DK64, which adds fuel to this theory given that they're going to be riding on the Donkey Kong hype at the moment with Bonanza, would be coming to the Nintendo Switch 64 online. Rejig those words. The service where you can play N64 games on the Switch. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that is legit and that Rayman 2 is coming. And now looking at some previous partner showcases, they do tend to have a sizzle reel at the end of coming to Nintendo Switch Online. The one from, I think, like early 2024 had Battletoads. Can't really remember what else was in that one, but there were a few things on different platforms, so I can see them doing that sort of thing, you know, a couple of GBA games, a couple of SNES games, I hope, a couple of N64 games. Bloody, finally, I would hope some more GameCube games. There's only so much fun you can have with Wind Waker. And it may seem limitless, but there is a limit at some point. At some point, we're going to stop having fun with Wind Waker. So, you know, some more GameCube games, please, like Rayman M or Arena if you're from the Holy Land. So yeah, basically, I'm pretty confident Rayman's going to show up in some capacity, even if it's just for a frame. Just a frame in the Direct tomorrow. It's a partner showcase anyway, so, you know, we have the best chance of that happening because there's more time dedicated to other companies, and Rayman doesn't belong to Nintendo, sadly, so... You know, there's a solid chance Ubisoft will be there. I mean, there's a definite chance Ubisoft will be there, and we have to expect, like, Assassin's Creed Mirage, probably, to be ported to the Switch 2. I would imagine we'll see that. I don't think that Black Flag remake is getting announced here. I think that's going to be announced in 3 weeks at Gamescom. I also don't think it'll be on Switch 2, so that's irrelevant. I don't know why I'm bringing it up. I just can't help myself around Assassin's Creed. But before I finish the video abruptly, because I'm making this on very short notice because I have to go out, I think there's actually one other game we could see. Well, I think there's probably a lot of games we're going to see because this is a showcase. But I think there's one specific brand new one that hasn't been announced before that we might see, and that is the new Lego game from TT Games. It's been 3 years, I think, since they released the Star Wars one that nearly killed the company. And apparently they're working on a Warner Brothers game that's Lego. Now, it could be DC. Could be Harry Potter. I can't remember what else they own, but I'm pretty sure it's not James Bond because they cancelled that one. Anyway, I'm pretty confident it's going to be like a big DC Lego game, like just covering everything, kind of like they've done before, but in the style of the latest Star Wars one, you know, the Skywalker saga. So covering every Batman, every Superman. I mean, that's really all anyone cares about anyway. And I don't really want to play through the 2011 Green Lantern film. But, you know, they're going to do it. Anyway, I think that could be it. Even if that's not what it is, I'm pretty sure that game has a chance of opening or closing the show tomorrow. Which would be really cool. I think that's a very fitting thing. Nintendo and Lego go together like Lego. Yeah. Anyway, that's about it. I don't really have anything else to say. I just wanted to do that. I've got a video in the works about Rayman 3 that I keep meaning to finish. I just haven't had the time. And I thought, you know what? Doing this, making a quick video now about some exciting news for tomorrow while I've got the adrenaline and way too much coffee in my system, means that, you know, I might get that motivation to continue with that Rayman 3 video. But we will see. I might drop it next week, I might never upload again. It all depends on what happens at this partner showcase, because I may have agreed on Twitter to delete my account if Rayman doesn't show up. So I hope no one's still watching this video and won't hold me to that. Anyway, goodbye. Like and subscribe. Stay awesome, stay purple, don't watch the partner direct without me, and I'll see you in the next one.